So we'll just go ahead and start today with some breathing. Again, any props you need for opening, centering, or sit up in a chair, couch, or bed. If you know that you have sensitive knees, then feel free to grab a blanket to pad your knees. If you like to practice with blocks, you can use blocks if you have them, or books, or so many things we can just use to kind of improvise here. So grab anything that you need to support yourself. Again, I am day after Christmas wearing an ugly sweater and pajama pants because that's the kind of day that we're having here. So I hope that you all will forgive me. I did brush my hair for all of you guys, so that was an effort. And I brushed my teeth also. So not that it matters because we're all on Zoom. Okay, enough talking. So find a seat that's comfortable for you and just start to let your eyes rest closed. And perhaps take a couple of releasing breaths, just letting out a nice big sigh, an audible sigh. Just to release and let go of any energy that is no longer needed. I think that we all produce a certain amount of cortisol to get us through the holidays, especially this year. So, just giving your body this signal that it is okay now to relax, to let go, that we no longer need to be in protective fight flight mode. One more. And then starting to focus your breath a little bit so that as you're inhaling, it's in for a count of 4. And as you're exhaling, it's out for a count of 4. And try not to shut out any thoughts that come in. Just think there are no good thoughts, there are no bad thoughts, just letting them come and go as needed. And just using your breath as this anchor that you are allowed to just come back to anytime. And just establishing that here in the very beginning of practice, the simple act of breathing in through the nose and then breathing out through the nose, finding a rhythm or pattern that works for you. You can use the in for 4, out for 4. You can go a little lower, 3, 3, or 5, 5, or 6, 6, but just spending another minute or so intentionally breathing. And what this does is a beautiful biological thing called resonance. So when we breathe in this way, we inhale and exhale equal and even to one another. Our heart rate begins to fall in line with that pattern of in and out. It begins to slow, have this more predictable rhythm. And the body slips more into this parasympathetic state. And from this first little bit of time we've had together, intentionally breathing, begin to set an intention for your practice. It is so hard to believe that when we come together next week, it will be 2021. So this week is a really wonderful time to just spend some time in intention setting. Really asking yourself, what do I want for myself going forward? It's just a good thing to do every now and then. And some of us do this by each moon cycle. But there's a big energetic, we are all connected in this consciousness. There's a big energetic push that's coming to do this sort of work. So you can take advantage if you want. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and just bring your palms together. Let thumbs rest right at heart center, Anjali Mudra, the sealing in this intention. Keep it simple today. Keep it simple for yourself, for your practice. And take in a big inhale, hold the breath in. Slow exhale, send it out. Nice. And then go ahead, blink your eyes open, ease the palms down. We'll remain seated. So if you want to switch out the way that you're sitting, feel free to do that. And then we'll just start to circle that torso around. Notice what's there this morning. And then in these first few warm-up movements, it's just a nice little way to take the temperature, see what is hanging out in the body so that we can make adjustments as we move through practice. Nice. And then reverse, moving in the opposite direction. Continue to use that breath as your anchor. So anytime that you need to pause, need to stop, just go back to breath. And be extra gentle with yourself today. Nice. And let's come all the way back up to sit. Take in a big inhale and exhale. Good. And then we're going to stay seated, but if you're sitting on a prop, you'll probably want to set it to the side, and we'll back up a little bit. Take your feet about a little wider than hips. Flex your feet so you're pulling your toes back towards your face, and then we'll windshield wiper side to side. Going back and forth here. And the more you flex your feet, the slower you go. You may get a little more activation in those hips. So do with that what you will. Oftentimes the teachers are like, and do this to go deeper. Some days you just don't want to or need to go deeper. That's okay too. So let those knees fall to the left side, and then ideally have the right knee on the earth so that the left heel is parallel. And then I'm going to turn just to show you. You're going to take a big inhale, lengthen your torso. So get really nice and long. And then we're going to exhale, come down on those forearms and just take some nice deep breaths. So go ahead, look down at the earth, soften your eyes. Go inside the body, experience the shape inside your body. Again, no good thoughts, no bad thoughts. There are just thoughts. They're like the clouds that kind of pass over us in the sky. Some days we get these nice, beautiful days with blue skies and no clouds. Some days it's like nothing but clouds. So whatever kind of day you're having here in your mind, it's okay. Go back to breath, using that tool of counting if you need it. Good. One more breath in and out. Slowly come back up on your hands, and then we'll move back to center. Reset the feet, hands behind you for support, and windshield wiper those knees. Side to side. Doing whatever you need to do to temper your experience. Nice. And then dropping your knees over to the right, same thing. So left knee down, and then hands come up nice and high, big inhale. And exhale, come down on those forearms, eyes looking gently down at the earth. Nice deep breaths in and out of the nose. Soft, slow, and steady. And then again, try to get the back of your neck nice and long. A lot of you guys know I always say that if we're arching our neck, it's more activating to the nervous system, and we just want to kind of let that nervous system slip into rest in our practice as much as is comfortable for you. Experience the breath in the waist, in the middle of the body, in the core. One more. Good. And then when you're ready, come up on those hands. We're going to come back to center, windshield wiper again. Yeah. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and make it to the mat for table pose, hands and knees. So find your table. If you need padding underneath those knees, grab that now, but we'll just move through some cat-cow here or hip circles, whatever works best for you. Continuing to deepen the breath. Just allowing your body to move as it needs to. And again, this is another kind of warm-up movement where we just take the gauge, the temperature gauge of how the body is doing so that we can tailor the practice. Good. Let's find a nice neutral table, eyes looking down. So lengthen the neck, eyes looking down, and then let's reach the right leg back behind you, flex through the right foot. All 5 toes facing the floor, right hip point facing down, staying here, or reaching and stretching the left arm forward, bicep facing ear, thumb facing the ceiling. Nice deep breaths. Keep the neck long, the jaw unclenched. Come out of this early if you need to. 2 more breaths. Good. Left hand down, right knee down, and then scooch back to child's pose. So pause in between the sides, finding the forehead able to rest somewhere. So if you don't just melt right down to the floor, grab a pillow or some sort of support for your forehead. You can also take a blanket in between the thighs and the calves, if on the legs there, if you don't, again, just magically melt down. Support your body. Good. A couple more breaths here. And then we're going to inhale it up into table. Move through that cat-cow, or if you want to circle those hips around, do any other kind of little movement here. Go for it. Stretching side to side, just really getting in there, moving the body the way that works for you today. Good. And then let's drop to neutral table once more, and we'll stretch the left leg back behind you, flex through the left foot, eyes looking gently down at the earth. Staying here or reaching, right arm forward, bicep facing ear, thumb facing ceiling, neck is long, breath is full, in and out of the nose, soft, slow, steady. Good, 2 more breaths. All right, right hand down, left knee down, back to child's pose, stretch it out, forehead down. And just experience the difference between those two, more of that activated place where we're holding, engaging, and now this more soft and nurturing space where we can just allow our body to rest, to release whatever we need to release. Okay, let's inhale it up into table. And then from table, we'll take that right leg back, flex through the right foot, and then step the right foot through. We're going to find a lunge here on the floor. So go ahead and bring the hands up on top of the right knee. Pad the left knee up if you need to. You can also curl the left toe under if you want a little more stability. And we're just going to kind of rock forward and back here into the front of that left hip. Don't go further than your body is okay with. Try not to push through anything today. You can do that at the gym if that's on your agenda. It's not on mine today. But save the pushing through for the gym. Good. And come all the way forward. Let's drop that left hand down. Again, use a block underneath the left hand if you need to. Reach the right arm up. Let's find a twist so you can stay totally straight on here, or you can flex through that right foot and let the knee come to the side. Breathe in and out of the nose. Soft, slow, steady breath. Good. One more breath. Now let's go ahead, bring the right foot back to the floor, and then hands to frame the right foot, wiggle the right heel forward, flex through that right foot, and just fold. Keep the neck nice and long. Again, use those props up underneath your hands if you need them. Pull the pinky toe edge side of the right foot back towards the right hip. So dorsiflexing that right foot, neck stays long, little places it tries to creep in there, the shoulders, the jaw, all those places. So just let yourself fall into relaxation. Couple more breaths. Nice. Let's bend into the right knee. Bring those hands to the floor. Bring your right knee and left knee back towards one another. And then we'll kind of shift forward, little knee down plank here. Just a little core engagement. Skip it if you need to, a lower to the belly. Thumbs in line with chest, tops of feet to floor. We'll do 3 little cobras. So inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Touch your forehead. 2 more, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale, lift. And exhale it back into your child's pose. So go ahead and rest, relax, and just breathe in and out of your nose. Allowing yourself to just melt into the earth. Good. One big inhale, hold it in for just a moment. Big exhale. Nice. Let's come forward to table. Move around if you want to, or just kind of hang there, reorient yourself. And then we'll go right into reaching and stretching that left leg back behind you. Flex through the left foot. Keep your eyes looking down and step the left foot through. Left foot, right knee, hip width apart. Adjust as needed. Curl back toe under. Pad the knee. Hand on top of the left knee. And again, just kind of coming back and forth into the front of the right hip. As you do this, pull that outer left hip back so you're not twisting in this motion. And experiment with maybe exhaling to come forward, inhaling to take it back, or vice versa, whatever feels best. A couple more of these. Good. And go ahead, let's drop the right hand down and we'll find a twist here over on this side. So reach and stretch the arm up and breathe. You can do the same thing you did on the very first side, unless you have an injury that's preventing you from doing that. Breathe deeply. Continue to drop down. Relax. Just breathe. Just be. A couple more breaths. Good. And then let's take that left hand down and flex your left foot and fold. Keep the neck long. Keep the breath flowing. Good. Check in shoulders, face, jaw, hands, all the little speed bumps, I call them. One more breath here. Bend into left knee, bring those hands to the earth, and then we'll go ahead, come forward, little baby, knee down plank, skip it if you want to or need to, slowly to the belly. One back bend of your choice, cobra, up dog, whichever works. Inhale it up and exhale it back to your child's pose. Let your forehead come down. And then just start to notice the earth below you as it relates to the senses. So feeling the palms contacting the mat, the temperature of the mat, the texture of the mat below your forehead, the feeling of the tops of the feet touching the mat, all of those things, just letting yourself fully be in this experience here. And taking in a big inhale, holding it in, and exhale. Let's inhale up to table, again, moving through some cat-cow or hip circling. And then if you would like to, go ahead, find down dog. I don't think I'm outfit appropriate for down dog today. So those of you wanting to do down dog at this time, go for it. Or you can just hang out with me here in cat-cow or neutral table. If you're in your down dog, feel free to move around, bending knees one by one, and just finding what works best for you. Head between those arm bones, nice inversion. And when you guys are ready, everyone from now, no matter where you are, let's find a forward fold at the front side of your mat. So if you were in your down dog, you'll step up there. If you were on the floor with me table, you'll go ahead, find the forward fold and get the back of the neck super long here. Take some nice deep breaths. Feel the earth below your feet. You can sway here side to side. Do what allows you to be in experience rather than thought. No good thoughts, no bad thoughts, just thoughts. They are just there. Good. And then we'll inhale, lengthen the torso. Exhale to fold. Press into your feet. Let's inhale, stand up, reaching up, looking up. And then exhale, thumbs to your heart, standing into those feet. Nice deep breaths in and out of the nose. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll just take a turn and a big wide step out. And once you get that wide step, turn your right foot to the right, align your right heel with your left arch or your heels in one line, slightly pigeon toe in the left foot. Inhale, sweep the arms out. Exhale, let's go into your warrior two and just settle in there. Right knee going right over toes 2 and 3, both feet contacting the earth, but try not to let those right toes grip the floor. Do what you can do here to settle in. Keep those eyes gently looking right out over that right middle finger. Soften, soften, soften. Good. Two more breaths if you can. You can always come out early if you want to or need to, but try to deepen into it. Good. Hands to hips or waist. Let's straighten out right leg. Turn the toes. Turn your left toes to the left. Again, realign heel to arch, heel to heel. Bend to left knee and reach it out. Sit down. Exhale. So get really nice and solid there into the shape. Eyes looking right out over left middle finger. Softening. Breathing, letting go of any gripping happening in those feet. Good. And every breath, every exhale, maybe you sit down a little deeper, left knee over toes 2 and 3. Good. Hands to hips or waist, straighten out left leg, turn those toes. Align your feet so the big toes are in the same line, and let's circle the hips, outer edge of feet, parallel outer edges of mat. All that blood flow down into those legs. Good. And then let's reverse. Circle moving in the opposite direction. Good. And back to center. We'll move to triangle pose. So turn your right foot to the right. You can keep your feet a little more narrow for this if you want, or take them wider. It's up to you. Heel to arch, heel to heel, left foot slightly pigeon toed in. Make sure you can bend and straighten that right knee. So you don't want to lock out that joint. Inhale, arms sweep out. And exhale your triangle. So you can come all the way down. You can be up a little higher, up a little higher. Find your triangle for today. Breathe into it again, making sure whatever version of triangle that you choose, that you can bend and straighten that right knee. There's no locking out of that joint. Breathe into the belly, open up the left hip. Good. Hug those legs together. Inhale it up. Hands to hips or waist. Go ahead, turn those right toes. Make sure your feet haven't crept, mine always do. And turn the left foot to left, heel to arch, heel to heel, right foot pigeon toed in. Inhale, sweep the arms out, and then exhale, triangle. Go ahead, find your triangle, open up that right hip, and breathe in and out of the nose. Bend and straighten left knee, just check in with it. You can look down, you can look straight across, you can look up, but try not to strain the neck to get into a particular version of triangle that maybe you saw in a book or took a class where the teacher was a little bit psychotic about looking places. Nice deep breaths here. Good. Look down at the left foot, left knee slightly bent. Inhale it up. Hands to hips or waist, and turn those left toes and hip circle. So again, outer edges of feet, parallel outer edges of mat. Go the other way. Good. Coming all the way up. Let's do wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, chest and heart lifts. Exhale, fold it down. You can widen your feet if you need to. You can grab props if you need them. Take your hands wherever feels comfortable, the floor, your feet. Again, those props if you need them. Just get the back of your neck nice and long. So it doesn't matter if you're like touching the floor. I just want you to lengthen the back of your neck and really start to experience the benefits of inversion. Taking some nice deep breaths. One more big inhale, one more big exhale. Good. Hands to the hips or the waist. Inhale, stand up. Exhale at the top. Let's heel toe. We're going to move to Malasana. So heels and toes out. Your feet can be closer together than mine or farther apart than mine. Hands to heart center. Come on down. Squat. Press those knees back. Lengthen the torso. Just breathe. 5 breaths here. Try to make sure that your knees are not squeezing too much against those armpits, that you can press the Knees back, get into those outer hips. Couple more breaths here. Good. And then we're simply going to take the hands down and scooch back. Bring the feet out and windshield wiper, just like we did in the very beginning of practice. Good. Good. And then we'll make it back to the mat, table pose. Just a little bit of cat-cow to integrate all those standing poses we did. Get all that blood flow back into the spine. Before we get into the hips a little bit deeper. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm more in that intention setting mode, I go for the hips a little bit deeper. So that's what we're going to do. Good. And then neutral table. Stretch the right leg back behind you, flex your right foot, step the right foot through. And then we're going to move to lizard. So your hands are going to come to the inside of the right foot. Align the heels of your palms with the arch of the right foot. This is great. Stay here, or you can use blocks up underneath those hands. You can also scooch the left knee back. You can also come down on, sorry, spider. I just killed a spider. On your forearms. And here we are for a minute. I have to laugh because yoga teacher training over a decade ago was the first place in my life I ever saw somebody catch a roach on a piece of paper and put it outside to be free. And here I am over a decade later, and I just killed a spider in the middle of teaching. Progress, not perfection. So nice deep breaths here, about halfway through. And then check in with your hands, your shoulders, your face, your jaw, all those little places that tension may want to kind of infiltrate, and then just consciously release that tension, maybe with an exhale or just letting go. Awesome. And then you're gonna, if you haven't already done so, come back up on those hands, and then we're gonna bring the right foot to the center and then find baby Hanuman, just like we did earlier in practice. So grab those props if you need them to go underneath the hands. Flex through that right foot, fold and breathe. In and out of the nose. Soften where you can and use the power of your exhale to let go of anything you need to. Good. And then we're going to bend back into the right knee. Hands will come down, scooch right knee, left knee, little baby knee down plank. Engage your core for a millisecond. Come to your belly. One little back bend. Inhale it up. And exhale it back to your child's pose. As soon as you get back into the child's pose, notice something that perhaps you did not in a previous child's pose. Maybe the feeling of the breath as it expands your ribs as you take it in and send it out. Perhaps the feeling of the shoulders on the upper back just expanding with each breath. Good. Let's inhale up to table. You can move if you want to, need to. And then we're gonna go ahead and step that left foot through, moving to lizard other side. So more than likely, just do what you did on the very first side, heel of palms parallel to in line with arch of foot. You can back that right knee up. You can come down on those forearms. A minute on the clock starting now. Do what you need to do in order to breathe deeper. If you find that you just simply can't take that long, slow exhale, then back up out of the shape a little bit. That's your body just saying, no, we're not going to do that. Every time I've injured myself in yoga, it's been due to muscling through and probably not breathing, not listening to that gauge of breath. Again, let go where you can. Almost finished, like 10 more seconds. Good. Come up on those hands, and then you're gonna wiggle left heel to center, flex that left foot, and then baby Hanuman, fold, relax, and breathe. Nice deep breath in and out of the nose. Soft, slow, steady. Good. 2 more breaths. Try to loosen up where you can. Good. Bend into the left knee, hands to earth. Baby little knee down plank, shift it forward. Inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale back to your child's pose. Rest, restore, relax. Find the earth. Just hang. Good. Taking a big inhale. Big exhale. So next thing is going to be pigeon pose. So let's shift the table, move around a little bit, get the spine moving. And then if you want to, if you know that you take pigeon on your back, go ahead, let's float onto the back, bring the feet to the floor with bent knees. If you take a regular bent over pigeon, you can simply go to down dog. I'm going to start from the floor, but reach and stretch the right leg back behind you, bend the knee, open the hip. Do this from down dog or table. And then that right shin bone comes in front of your body. And you'll take a big inhale, lift your chest and heart, and then an exhale to fold forward. We're going to stay here about a minute and a half. So if you're on the floor, you'll take your right outer ankle to left knee, flex through the right foot, and take whatever variation works for you today. That could mean hugging the left leg in, stretching the left heel towards the ceiling. Breathing deeply in and out of the nose. Softening over the leg. Neck is long. Breath is full. About a half a minute left. You can always come out early if you want to. You never have to just stay in a shape, especially if you're finding it difficult to breathe and you just can't even with the breath. Give yourself the space that you need to not. I could stay here all day, but I won't do that. Almost done with this one. One more big inhale, one more big exhale. Good. If you're on your back, just stay there, set that right foot down. If you're folded over, hands come down and you'll go back to your down dog. Or if you're like me, you can just come back to table, move through cat cow if you're in down dog. Take any movements you want to take, bending knees one by one, stretching the hip. If you're on the floor, you can also windshield wiper your knees side to side if you're on your back. We're about to hit up that second side. So if you're in your down dog or your table, you'll take the left leg back behind you, bend the knee, open the hip, big wide stretch first, and then we'll take that shin bone in front of the body. If you're on your back, left outer ankle, right knee. If you're in the folded over place, take an inhale, really lengthen up your torso, pull the outer left hip back, breathe deeply here, and then we're gonna fold over. And I am keeping time, don't worry. Take some nice deep breaths in and out of your nose. Soften that face, shoulders, jaw. Just let it go. And just allowing this practice to rebalance your body, rebalance your nervous system, bringing it back to the place that it actually never left. We just get caught up in other energy. Long, slow exhale, soften up, ease where you can. About one more breath here. Good. And then if you are on your back, you'll just take that left foot down to the floor. If you're folded over, you'll go back up into that down dog, or like me, table, moving in your down dog, moving in your table. If you're on your back, you can windshield wiper those knees side to side. And from wherever you are, after you feel like you've gotten all that movement out, you'll just come over to lay on your back. So we'll meet everybody that's already resting on the earth. So go ahead, take it on back. We'll do one bridge pose. This is just a nice way to really get all that blood flow into the spine before we stretch it out. So feet are hip width, knees are hip width. Don't turn your head once you get in this. Press into the floor with your feet. Inhale, lift those hips up. You can stay here with the hands beside your hips. You can grab the outer edges of the mat. You can walk those shoulders underneath you. Keep the neck long. Again, don't turn your head. Just lift those hips up. Really relax the backs of the legs. Three more breaths here. Good. And then you're gonna lower your hips down. Take soles of feet together. Let your knees open up. Untuck those shoulders. Find rest and just breathe. See if you can feel the belly rising and falling from here. Good. And then we're gonna take our feet down and go ahead and hug those knees now into the chest. Breathe a little deeper. What can you release here? A thought, or maybe just a spot of tension. Try not to overthink it. Good. And then stay here with the knees hugging in, or you can shift into a happy baby, grabbing outer edges of feet and letting your feet face the ceiling. So feet parallel with the ceiling, flexing the feet. Nice deep breaths. Staying just like this, or if you want to stretch one heel so the leg straightens and then stretch the other, or both at the same time if you really want to get in those hamstrings, or just go back to hugging knees into the chest. This is just your little time here to wind down, to take those little final movements that your body might be asking for, honoring that. And then once that feels complete to you, you're just gonna bring the knees back in and just drop your knees to the right and look left, a little knee down twist, really nice heavy left shoulder. Take your time. Once you get to that twist, knees to the right, left shoulder heavy, then just really start to lengthen your exhales out purposefully. So a little bit longer than your inhales, maybe a lot, maybe just slightly. Good. Let's bring the head to center, knees to center. You can squeeze in for a second here if you want to, or you can just go right on over to the left side, eyes looking right, heavy on the right shoulder. Long, slow exhale. Good. We're going to inhale it up to center. Take any other little final movements here, and then we're going to shift into relaxation, final rest. Find a place to let your body stretch out, whatever works for you today. If you want to reorient yourself up to a chair, couch, or a bed, somewhere more comfortable that is not the floor, take this time to do so. And we'll just do a little diaphragmatic breathing before we get into the guided relaxation. So take one palm on your belly, one palm on the rib cage. If it's comfortable, if you're like, I don't want to, then don't. It's okay. And then once your hand is one on the belly, one on the ribs, if you're choosing to do this, relax your shoulders. Notice if they're like gripping, holding on, just like totally let go of those shoulders. Start to let your breath be so super expansive into the belly, into the ribs. Again, allowing yourself to experience each breath, expanding into the belly, into the ribs, falling back in. allowing there to be space in your body. And you're welcome to just stay here like this with belly, one hand on belly, one hand on rib cage, experiencing diaphragmatic breath. Or if you would rather, take the hands somewhere else. I always tend to take my hands on top of my hip bones. It's just a weird instinctive thing I do. So, whatever allows you to feel safe in your body right now, doing that, honoring that. And then affirming to yourself here, I am in my body. I am on my yoga mat. I'm in a safe place. There's nothing that I need to accomplish in this moment other than being here in my body on my mat. And the more I can experience this place of being, allowing myself to let go of the doing just for now, the more I am present and able to release the stresses that I no longer need and receive what is already on its way to me, that has been on its way to me. However, I wasn't able to see it because of these stresses. But now I'm in this place of rest, of safety, and I can release whatever I need to release. So that those things which are already on their way to me, I can find them, I can receive them. As you feel this true for you, this being in your body, on your mat, taking in each breath as it comes, letting out each breath as it goes. Feeling the support, the warmth of the earth below your body here and now. The layers of rock and shale and magma connected to this fiery center core of the earth, coming up through your body, allowing you to rest, to relax, to restore. And consciously, as we go, just letting go of the feet, the lower legs, the knees, the kneecaps, behind the knees, tops of the thighs, backs of the thighs, the legs so heavy they could just fall right down and through the earth, connecting with that warm core. The hips relaxing, the low back releasing, the middle back just resting into the floor, and the belly continuing to rise and fall naturally with each breath. The ribs continuing to expand, contract. The upper back also expanding, contracting. The hands receiving, releasing, becoming heavy. Forearms, elbows, upper arm bones, shoulders, entire torso, heavy, relaxed, able to let go. Back of the neck, back of the head, Again, both falling down into the earth, the forehead broadening, the eyes falling to the back of the head, teeth separating, tongue nice and relaxed in the mouth, jaw relaxing, the tongue nice and heavy in the mouth. And now the whole body is one, letting yourself rest, coming into this place of letting go and receiving simultaneously, knowing that there is not any efforting that you must do in order for this to happen for you. All you have to do is be. Feeling that energy of being here and now, and perhaps choosing to stay here in this place, just resting on the earth for as long as you need to, for long after I stop talking, after this practice ends, if you need to just rest here on the floor in this energy, giving yourself permission to do so. If you feel ready to come out of this place, you can bring your bent knees, feet to the floor. Simply rock to your favorite side, pausing there. Taking a deep breath on your side. And then from your side, allowing yourself to come up to a comfortable seat. In that seat, sitting tall, eyes resting closed, or soft, gentle gaze. Begin to bring palms together, let thumbs rest right at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Sealing in your intention and your practice. Taking in a full inhale and a long, slow exhale. Jai Bhagwan, namaste. Thank you guys for coming, for practicing today, for being here. So lovely to have each and every one of you. I will see you next time. And for some of you,